As many of you know, last year I bought a 2019 model SeaDoo Fishpro. Pretty new on the market at the time. Uh, Not too many people were buying them yet. And I took it out several times, and while I enjoyed it, I just didn't enjoy fishing from it. When you're in a trolling mode, it was too loud for the fish, and it wouldn't track. You had to constantly steer it. And of course, being a bass angler, I want to be able to cast and make cast while I'm trolling. I don't want to troll by dragging a lure around behind the SeaDoo. So that was one of my biggest problems with it. And another problem was anchoring. It's just annoying to drag out an anchor, drop it, scare the fish away, and pull up the anchor, move, drop it again. You can get into some shallow water and use a stakeout pole, which was reasonable, but you don't always want to fish in shallow water. There's some places where, usually the bass on this lake in particular, you'll find them in 14 foot of water. And so I spent winter coming up with the ideas, and I pitched a few ideas and talked about them on the SeaDoo Fishpro owners and do-it-yourself group on Facebook. And a guy beat me to it. Well, there's several people that put trolling motors on it on the back, but one guy named Michael Lott beat me to it, putting it on the front, like I wanted a bow mount, and I wanted to use like a Minn Kota Riptide with the Ipilot GPS anchoring, and he beat me to it. He did a good job, and basically I just copied him. And this is what I came up with. It sure turned it around. It made this thing very fishable. I'd never used it before, so this was all brand new, first time out in this video. I didn't know which levers to push, which buttons to push, nothing. When you look at the remote, you've got a bunch of buttons. And one button that you have is an anchor button down at the bottom. Of course, that is a GPS spot lock anchor. And then you've got a button for if you want to point it up in a set direction. It looks like a north arrow when you set the direction. And then you gauge the motor with the button in the middle, and you set the speed with the minus and plus buttons. And then you can change your direction by pressing the arrow buttons. And you can go rotate the trolling motor to the right and to the left and change your directions with that. You can pretty much skirt a shoreline and cast up against it, which I learned how to do within probably 45 minutes to an hour. I had this thing down pat, and I was able to fish for the few hours that I was out there, and I managed to catch 5 white bass, which we call sand bass out there, and had an enjoyable day. And now I finally got the skunk off of the SeaDoo. I think I can manage to catch a lot more fish in the future now. All of this video was filmed using a Insta360 1X. So it's a 360 video. Of course, you can move the frame around and capture it in different ways, and it's like having a cameraman in a way, because you can just pick where you want your footage off of the 360 video. If you plan to do this to your SeaDoo, I highly recommend it, your Fishpro. But I am not going to manufacture these or make them. This is a one-off deal for me. I really don't have the ability to make more. And this was a pretty difficult job. It took a lot of work to figure it all out. But I can tell you how I did it, or I can try to. It really makes fishing from this more fun, more enjoyable, and makes it into a fishing machine. I don't expect SeaDoo to do this on the model, on their next newer models in the future, but it would be nice if they put some way, just built into it, some way to mount and wire a trolling motor in and a battery box for the back, and that way you wouldn't, all you'd have to do is buy the equipment and put it on there. But if they were to include it in the package or have it an option available, I mean, I would see them doing it, but not with Minn Kota. Maybe with Garmin, since Garmin has a trolling motor out now. But you got to understand that SeaDoo is owned by BRP, and BRP is in cahoots with, or they make other products like the Can-Am spiders and SeaDoo and Mercury motors, things like that. So I would think that they would get into somebody that they're really in cahoots with, like Garmin, to do something like this in the future, if they were to do it. But I doubt they will, because it looks like it's a pretty expensive job here. And Garmin is pretty proud of their trolling motors, so it would add too much of a cost to this thing, and people would be like, I could buy a boat for that. And yeah, you could. So I don't expect SeaDoo to add this as an option. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of this content in the future, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.